So I want to do a video on 6 pairs on the daily close, total zoom in. I'm running a 1280 by 1024 on the monitor, and I pushed Windows to give me 200% larger sizing in overall font. Because when I used to trade, I traded on a video card matrix that I was able to pan zoom in, and I could just pan around the screen. It was amazing. They got rid of it. You know, it's funny what they leave behind, all the good stuff. And so here is literally oh, this is the wrong template here. I thought oh, unfortunately I didn't delete all objects before I saved that template. So yeah, if you save a template and there's any objects on there, they're going to be included. So you have to delete them and then save the template. So this is a kind of a brain teaser a little bit. And save that template. Now I just load that one. So I just went to a 100 pip handle and a 50 because we're worried about making 100 pips and 50 pips in the dailies, and we're looking to get in. We could just measure with our mouse the stop, but we're going to put multiple orders in. And so I have all those orders posted in the drop thing. Now you can build your own versions. You'll find that the tighter the stop, the worse the trade in some situations. You have to figure out what time frame. But we can trade the daily. We don't have to trade. We can make money without ever going down to a smaller time frame. And that's the beauty of seeing the big picture and trading the big picture simultaneously. You don't want to always drop down to the 15, because if you drop down to the 15, you're going to realize that you should be a 15-minute trader. And you should be trading in and out, in and out, in and out, all that stuff. And trading those breakouts. Now, if you have a day job and you really don't want to get involved in some type of brain teaser where you're thinking, you know, the 4 hour looks good, but the 1 hour, look for small ATRs on the daily and place goober orders. So where's the goober orders on these charts? Well, they should jump out at you. And some you're going to say, well, I would have got stopped out. And you're like, but if they were scalps, you would have made money. If they were symmetrical, non-directionals, you would have made money. And this is a very subtle thing, and this is all it takes. It only takes 1 degree of change to make your golf ball go a whole. If you're hitting it hard, a 0.5 degree angle is a completely different trajectory. So even here, small ATRs, if you bracketed this, right, you got a buy stop and a sell stop. You've got targets here, and you got targets here. Right? How'd that trade work out? Great. Under 50 pips, this could be a little deceiving. This might be Sunday night. So, but here, even here, buy stops, right? If you're an aggressive trader, and this to me is super aggressive, buy stops here, right? Obvious. Sell stops. Your sell stops are going to be anyways there to get you out if you're so... How do you know where you're going to be wrong? What a dumb thing. Put your order where you know you're going to be wrong. Well, what if I'm right? And I'm just off by a little bit? So here's a valid entry. This is yesterday. Buy, sell, stop. Little trap there. Totally made 40 pips. Maybe you're out of that trade. Maybe you're holding. Maybe you get follow through. What's the chance that this could follow through a little bit up and this could follow through a little bit down on Sunday? And even this, a little follow through, such a hard move down. Here, something's going to happen. And we are either going to fill here or we're going to start going down. But you couldn't just trade one trade plan here because it would just never work. Here you want to put sell limits here. So obviously you want to put buy limits down here, right? Maybe too late. You missed the sell. You should have had sell limits at new highs. So somebody's asking me about, what do you mean sell limits at new highs? These are new highs. But what if I'm wrong and it keeps going up? This is... You got to do something. You got to get over that, man. You're going to be wrong. You got to accept that you don't know what the fuck you're doing. It's called beginner's luck. You can make tons of money if you've never been bit. You can make tons of money. You know, when we were kids, I got on a motorcycle. My buddy was on a dirt bike, and I'm on this thing, and he's laughing at me. And after we rode, I said, "Why are you laughing?" He goes, "You're being so dangerous." I go, "Well, I've never ridden a bike before." He's laughing at me. He's like, "I can't believe you're not dead." I'm like, "I can't believe I'm a risk adverse. I wouldn't ride a motorcycle." Well, I rode on the back. He took me for a ride on the back of his and scared the shit out of me. I go, "I'll never be on a bike again if that's how fast I can go." And so, beginner's luck. It's not beginner's luck. It's fearlessness. It's just being like, "Hey, get in here." Then later on, your trading gets worse. I don't know if anybody experienced this. You start off good trading. You're like, "Fuck, I was killing it. I'm getting worse. The more I learn, the worse I get. Now I'm trying this, and maybe this is better." And you try to fine-tune it. And this is just the same thing when you start playing guitar. The best song you're going to write is going to be the first 3 songs you write. The rest of it, now you're trying to write a song. You weren't trying to write a song before. You were just doodling around. I don't know if anybody's ever been in this a state of mind where you're distracted. So some of the best ideas I've come up with is while I'm thinking about, distracted with some common thing like some date, and then I'm playing guitar. So I'm playing guitar, and I'm thinking about some bill I gotta pay or some issue, and I look down and I'm like playing a completely new chord because I let myself go into a zone of not paying attention, and now I'm just not judging what I'm playing because I'm distracted with a mundane thing, and then I look down and I look and I'm like, where'd that chord come from? Or why are you hanging on that chord? In other words, the routine that you're used to is your enemy. So you find comfort in routine, but that's going to kill you because you're going to atrophy. So you have to, even if you're, but I don't know, right? I mean, maybe there's some guy who's trend trading is just like killing it. He has the discipline to wait for this perfect setup. There are people like that. I went to school with people like that. They got straight A's. I was flunking out, right? Class clown, go figure. But so I was, so if you're not the kind of person that can follow a regiment, and you're an individualist, you're an artist or something, there's a different path for you in trading. I would do a screening process. I mean, these guys at Empowered Trading, I don't know what they do for 3,900 fucking bucks, but if it was me, I'd damn sure give you a screening. I'd say, well, I'd be blunt. You have to ask so many questions. What do you find? You have to find somebody's personality traits, and then you have to show them stuff that would fit that. So if you're a visual trader, here's patterns, but nobody makes money off of analyzing patterns. They make money off of trading them. So they're talking about this head and shoulders thing. I was just watching them. They said, well, Jason Greystones, he's doing some very serious research on head and shoulder patterns. What the fuck? With 8 different sizing? If he was doing it with 1,000 different sizings, he wrote 1,000 scripts and he's dropping those and he's back testing. I mean, right? So it's about, did you scalp to the armpit or to the nipple? Like, you got to get in and out of this head and shoulders pattern, like the ear, the eyebrow, all along the way. And at the end, maybe you get to trade that fucking glorious pattern, right? Maybe it does go down and you exit at the wrist or the foot. A big trade is you sell the shoulder and you get out at the big toe, right? But imagine you're getting out at the clavicle, right? You're getting out at the armpit. You're getting out at the elbow, all the way down. Each fucking knuckle's got an exit. That's a trade. That's a business, right? You accommodate every little. Oh, you want a little side dressing with? Yeah, we have that. You go to these menus, build your own pizza, right? So you got to build your own pizza, so to speak, in trading. You can't just have pepperoni on everybody's fucking pizza. Okay, people. Then how big is the pizza? And did you make it crispy? Why would it be any different? I don't know if that helps. But you can see the trends for next week, people. We're going to buy the fucking dollar yen if it drops lower. This thing is hell-bent. I mean, this thing's ready to just go bye-bye into this void, right? Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe they come out there just barely come and it goes the other way. All right, but you got this trade running. You can see the scalps here coming up. You really think it's going to come up here and just go sheer straight up? It's not going to have a little log jam problem? Dollar Swiss is on the end of going through into the abyss, that's for sure. Look at this puppy. But, you know, maybe just dips in. Maybe it doesn't cave in. Look at the monthly. Can't you fucking do it on here. Look at the weekly. When it starts taking out these wicks at the bottom, what do you think is going to happen? This is going to be quite a contest here. And the Euro's going the other way. Nearly a mirror image. Go figure. Euro's going to go up, man. When the Euro takes out this wick, what do you... This is so painfully obvious. You can only imagine what they're saying at Empowered Trading about this setup. Well, what we do is we look way out here. And, like, really? Are you kidding me? So, you know, you just got to ask yourself, what's the trade here? Well, you're going to have to fucking risk a if you buy at the market now, you're fucked. Better you should sell the obvious if it goes up 100 pips. Right, big neck line's 100 pips. You scalp off of that. You're on the 1 hour chart. What's the trade? Oh my god. Fucking retarded. Put a buy limit at the 50-yard line. How hard is that? More than one? Yes, you have to put more than one order in. You have to date more than one girl to find the ultimate nag. Okay? So, right? Buy limits, buy limits. How much do you donate to that? I'd say I put about 50K in there. 1Ks, different ratios, some are scalps. Go to the next currency. Lay all those traps. Now, if you know, it's a lot of work to add up all the risks. Total. Some guys ask me, well, what's the total risk? And figure it out. It's a lot of work to do that math. If you know everything's got a 30 pip stop, then just use that. But you're going to have to risk 30 to make 10. You're going to have to risk 30 to make 20, to make 40, 50, 60, all the way to 100. Because you're never going to see your 10 pips unless you risk 30 on some of these trades. And that might be the trade that pads the account so the other guy can get stopped out with the 15. So you see what I mean? You're putting in stuff. You know, you're building a hotel and you have the 70s room, the 60s room. You have to accommodate the fucking prices that are happening in the market. You can't build utopian Gartleys on top of the market. I don't know if that helps. But obviously we can see the trades here. We need to sell at the 100. I thought we'd hit 113. We're going to 113, right? Anybody think this isn't going to go to 113? Now, whether it goes to 117, Dreamland, it's going to be the rockiest road in the world for the euro to get there. Anyways, I hope that helps. I'm exasperated. I need to drink something. So thanks for tuning into the 6 pairs of chaos, and we're going to buy low, we're going to sell high. You missed the sell here on the Canadian. I talked about this in the video earlier. That's quite a nice pullback. 50 pips clean off that trap. And if you think this is going to the moon, you might want to think twice. Because if we break this, if we start filling, it's not about breaking this trend line as much as about filling this void down here. It's going to be ugly. And the dollar's already getting kicked its ass by the yen and the Swiss. Canada's not that bad. They're gonna get a new president, or they don't. They're just gonna be underground economy that goes around it. See, there's underground economies that drive things. Look at this painful channel here. Your range trading a trend. You have to range trade a trend, right? Because if you got in here, right? If you got in here and you didn't get out here, you're like, well, it's an uptrend and I waited and I almost got stopped out, but I'm still up in this trade. Like, huh? That's a weekly chart. You've been in that trade how long? Okay, well, you got a point. Anywhere on here, we just can only sell here and buy here right now. We can't place buy limits down here and expect to get filled in the next 40 minutes. I've been there, done it. It doesn't fill. You don't, like me, that have a fear of missing out, and that's why I have to buy a little bit at the market, because I will miss out. It's a fear for a reason. Why are you afraid of the dark? Because this is where the zombies come out. Don't be afraid of the dark. Well, what are you, fucking nuts? You can't see. So you have to have fear. You just can't deny the emotion. You have to bank it in some type of trade plan and go, okay, I can, you know, the what's the old saying? Embrace it and then erase it. So you just take all the hits up front. And the ATRs. You want to get in before the beast wakes up. You want to kill him in his sleep. When he's running around, unless you've got limits, which would be, unless you're throwing out nets and traps and landmines to blow up your opponent, then it's too late to play I'm going to sneak up and blow your head off. That was when the ATRs were small. When the thing's screaming, unless you got a way to kill it, step back, go to another currency that hasn't exploded. But they've all exploded, right? Because Asia's quiet. And everybody's going to take off. You could run breakout strategies and all these pairs, but what you're not going to like about that, what you're going to like about it is you make money. What you're not going to like about it is that you didn't decide. You didn't choose the direction. You bracketed the market. This is presupposing you're doing a non-directional breakout trading in Asia. It's going to be disturbing. I'm making money, and it's just not right. Because I should be able to predict the move. This is Jason Stapleton's whole new gig now. Predictive trading. Are you fucking kidding me? I almost think it's a sick way to fuck people's heads so they sign up for the ultimate total transformation. The same, no difference than a Tony Robbins book. You know, Tony Robbins has some key things he says that are amazing. Like, it's not the answer, it's the question. Your question is as important as what you're looking to get. So the question is the focus. And it's kind of this Zen stuff, but it's true. And people don't like that. People are linear, and I grew up like that, you know. And some of the wishy-washy things you hear, you're like, oh, fuck that. This doesn't make sense, right? Right out of the gate, you're like... But certainly making suppositions too far into the future. If it does this, then that. We all do that, right? So, going back to a girl, you would just, oh, and if she says that, then I'm going to judge what she said, and then, oh, give some time, and then there's a whole unfolding of the relationship. And you have a predefined way it would unfold, and you want to show, like, usually when I abduct somebody, I want to show them my favorite restaurant or something. And see how they take it, right? They're like, you're eating here, we're breaking up right now. So you're always doing this thing, and you think that trading's going to be like that. Well, what we're going to do is going to plan this, going to plan that, and we have a couple things on deck, but they never unfold. Even in the real world, they never unfold like that. You go to the beach, and there's a dead body. You know, it's like real life. And trying to idealize trading is just brutal. But once again, it's psychological. We can go currency to currency and here see that painfully obvious trades. Right? We can see the trades we missed. So why don't we place that order here again to buy this stop hunt, whatever you want to call it. Total fear. I want to see a certain pattern. This is the daily chart, British pound. Who's not selling up here blindly? Probably not get filled, but you have to blindly sell out in front of the market. So how long do the orders last? How much risk do you want to take? Are you risk adverse? Are you a plunger? Do you blow up accounts? If you dial it back a little bit, if you just take a little bit of edge off that, right? In other words, I was trying to show somebody how to play guitar, and they were pressing so hard. I said, do you realize you're actually making the note go sharp because you're now pressing into the fretboard, you're stretching the string. If you're going to do that, you better get a fretless Wonder, a Les Paul, where it's literally you cannot do that to. If you're an angry guitarist and you're gripping the strings too hard, but it takes a little bit of thinking. And if you're out of tune, you can actually squeeze up into a note. We realize you're out of tune, right? But you're squeezing the fretboard. Now, if it's a scallop fretboard, you can actually, it's a sitar at that point, right? You squeeze in this, instead of bending and wearing the string out by rubbing on the fret, maybe I'm going too guitarish, but you're going to squeeze the thing. And that's the same thing in trading. It's very subtle. It's a blend. It's a harmonic. They talk about harmonic patterns, and I really thought it would be harmonically placed orders. But no, for their harmonic is a standing wave of one frequency. They have one Gartley on the chart. You have one moving average. You need every fucking moving average. You need every time frame. Well, that's too complicated. Well, there you go. But that's how you would spread the risk. And, there's nothing you can really... see, now I'm up on this trade considerably. I'm in very heavy. But I'm in from here. I got in down here. About the market. No stops. It's a demo. No stops. No take profits. I'm up like $2,000. Just all 12Ks. I was doing it in that Zen movie. Zen thing I did. So, here. What's the trade? Well, buy limit's down here. What if it keeps going down? So if you're asking that question, what if it keeps going down? That's almost a fear question. Almost. What if I lose? Count on it. Count on losing. Don't count on winning, and just let the market bring you money out of you having the balls to place orders. But, you live in a technological world where a lot of stuff's done. You got electric lawnmowers, you got gas-powered lawnmowers cutting your lawn. You're not out there pushing a lawnmower anymore. So what do people do? They get electric lawnmower, they get fat, so they go to the gym. But if they got a manual lawnmower, and you don't see liberals out with their land, you don't see a liberal out with a push mower, literally a by you. You wouldn't have to go to the gym, right? You cut your lawn with that, and you're like, it's quiet, no gas. No. These hypocrites have, they want you to not have any, but they're landing a jet on their lawn, right? So, you don't want to get into trading hypocrisy where you're saying, well, I've got this amazing EA. Well, your laziness is not going to help you see that it's real work trading, I mean, it's real work. It's mental in a way, but you still gotta, it's not like you can't lose your arm trading. So it's not that kind of work. I find it to be less risky. Like there's job sites that you can be on where you could lose a finger. How much does a finger cost? It's probably priceless, right, to you. Trading people is so risky. Well, maybe because they made money where they almost lost their finger, now they want to trade with that money. But it's a fearless situation if you're trading 1Ks. But if somebody's down $4 on a 1K, they're down 40 pips. They take it to heart, People are like, fuck, $4. Shit, I could have got a fucking McDonald's burger. I could have got a Happy Meal. And that is the whole problem. Can you think objectively and buy more? Can you say, okay, I'm down 40 pips, but I still think it's a buy. Instead of just rushing in and buying, what I used to do is just buy like 10K now. I'm like, okay, the fuckers. Because my anger kicked in and I said, oh, it's going to be like that, huh? Oh, really? You can drop 40 pips? Oh, 60 pips. I'm like, buy. Now, I was able to make money on some of those trades, but I don't think that's a good approach. The discipline is to buy every hour it drops. If it drops 30 pips, you buy at the market. You have to have a threshold too. Like, right, I don't take unless it drops really hard, then I'll buy at the market. But maybe you have to wait for the end of the hour even. Then you see it drift down a little bit. You're like, I'm in fine. And you have to trust yourself that you could add to that position. It's about trusting yourself to know that I could add if I had to, and see that, you know what, I'm in good here. The market's not out to get me. I could buy a little bit more, and maybe I will buy like one here, but instead of hitting the key, like instead of anchor trading, I'm just saying, if you're an anchor trader, instead of hitting the key 3 times in a row, and it's a 3K each button push, how about you buy 1K and then put orders in 2 pips apart, put 5 orders in 8 pips apart, because you know you're going to fucking buy it when it goes down there. So instead of having a babysit, put a couple in at the market, lock in something, and then just put buy limits down there, out in front of the market. Several. The more the merrier, right? The more the dispersion of punishment. Why do you think these vests, right, that people wear for bulletproofness, how does that vest absorb a bullet? It's diffusion. You're diffusing the energy. These markets get highly energized. You've got to have a cushion, absorption, entry. I'm just speaking for myself because I'm a stubborn, angry person, and I'm going to buy when it's down. I'm like, man, I'm fucking buying that. So it's on sale. I don't even care what it is. I mean, it's like if a chick walks through the store and she's like, I bought a bunch of stuff. I saved you so much money today. Really, honey? I got everything 70% off. You bought shit you didn't even need. 70% off. So the deal, I'm getting a deal, therefore I'm going to buy stuff that I may never even use. But you feel the emotional satisfaction in getting a discount. And it may work in the end, right? It turns out that your wife came home with a bunch of shit that is now discontinued and you're selling it on eBay 10 years later and you're cleaning up. And you're like, honey, you are a fucking genius. That's why I married you. I knew you're out of your fucking mind. You're impulsive as the day is long, but like a stop clock without an AM or PM, you're getting it right twice a day. So that's my 2 cents, and next week will be painfully easy. And I say painfully easy because people think if it was that easy, everybody'd do it. But nobody's doing it, okay? You can't even get a trading coach that's selling a course for $39.97 to fucking put on a fucking lousy micro lot in front of you. What does that say? 10 years of trading? You learn nothing. He's learned nothing to show us, right? So I'm trading 20 years. So not that in 20 years I'm going to get it right. Because the more you make, the more you can make, and now you've got to adjust your mindset to that amount of money. Now you've got money. And for a lot of people, and this may sound unbelievable, but I'm telling you it's true, that if you make too much money trading, now you might leave your wife. So if you don't want to break your wife's heart, you will make sure that somehow you fuck up your trading account and lose to bring yourself back in the comfort zone. Just like if you went on a diet and now you look good. Of course, if you do that, go on a diet, your wife's going to think you're cheating on her. You start working out. But if you do that and you feel awkward and people are staring at you and you're not a person, that you're not an attention whore, and now you're going to get attention, and a lot of people will dress down that are fit because they don't want people to say, oh, look at you. Like, then they got, like, in other words, they're the dumb blonde in the bar and the chicks are on them because they got a good body, and they're like, I got a mind too, you know, I can trade Forex. I mean, I might have a washboard abs, but you know, you should see me with a mouse. So there's all this shit going on, and it's going to fuck up your trading because your self-concept is destiny. That is a quote from the guy that was having an affair with Ayn Rand, the psychologist. Can't remember his name, he's dead. Self-concept is destiny. But that's evolving too. Nathaniel Brandon. That's an evolving thing. It's unfolding as each day gets better trading, and then you experiment with, like, you know what, that fucking does work. I can't fucking believe it. It shouldn't work, but it does work. And that probably wouldn't work in your real life in the mechanical world. Like, my buddy has a laser welder, and it was broken one day. It was intermittent, and I went in there, and it's so cute because we make jokes about gear. And he said, "Well, it's kind of on the fritz, you know." And he goes, "I'm hoping it's going to fix itself." We know that's impossible, but this kind of hope springs eternal. And then we're like, well, sometimes these trades work out. Well, but accept the fact that your stop is at X, and you're not a swing trader, so you're a scalper, and you can't play that game, right? You're playing this game now. So we all want to play all these games at once, but we can in MetaTrader. But it's like the guy, you ever seen these people, these chess champions, they come and play like 20 people. So they go from chessboard to chessboard. One guy goes around and he's playing against kids, or maybe he's playing against professionals. He makes a move and so he has an advantage in a way, because every time he gets to that board, he's seeing it for the first time and saying, "Oh, what's the move?" Right? He's got to think, "What's the move?" He's not holding on to. It's almost an advantage for the guy that's going from chessboard to chessboard, because if he has an instant pattern recognition of what the next move is in chess, he's having beginner's mind every time he shows up to everybody's, and he kind of remembers where that game's at. But the guy that's playing that game against him is overthinking it as he comes around. They're like, "Oh, fuck, this guy just moved that." And he's like, "Jesus Christ, he's coming back." And so who's got the advantage, right? It's like when you see somebody chasing somebody, who's got the advantage? The guy that's running, in a way, has the advantage because he's choosing the direction. The guy that's chasing has to be able to keep up. But he also has an advantage because he can see where he's going. So it's a double-edged sword. You can see where the market's been, but where is it going? Can I get in a reversal? Should I wait till the ATRs die down? Is that my setup? Is that what I know how to trade a breakout now? I can trade breakouts. I can start doing a breakout strategy, but at some point that won't be enough for you, right? I know missionary position, but now I want to go into something kinkier, right? It would just be a normal, if you're curious, right, it'd be the normal next step. And maybe you back off, right? Maybe you end up, something goes terribly wrong and you just go back to missionary sucks. But that's what trend trading, it seems like to me. Missionary position. But, you know, this stuff is commingled. You can't just be a trader saying, "I'm a trader." No, you're a person that's trading with all the other issues commingled coming along with you. And those things will play out in the market. In fact, a lot of trades that I feel like are like, "This is so fucked." I'm like, and I keep saying, "Well, no, you know what? It's not fucked. You're in a good position here." And, but if I just want to take the money and run, I'll do that. And if I see the market move on without me, I go, "Well, I made that decision." So you have to accept that decision that you made, realizing that there's so many fucking opportunities. If you strictly traded a half-hour chart, there's 48 bars per day. There's probably about 8 good entries, or maybe 4. But you know those are coming. But if you want to go to the 5-minute chart and mess around on a demo, somebody asked me, "Why are you trading a demo?" Well, because you're always in this, this is why they put chimpanzees in these, I don't know if it's illegal to put a chimpanzee in a rocket anymore, but before they put a human in there, they put something that's a facsimile of a human to see if you can survive the trip. So if you're on the cutting edge of your own trading systems, and hopefully you are, because there's no fucking way you're going to live off of retail gumpster, goober, empowered trading goober shit. It's really about, it's kind of a inspirational course. Live your passion. I'm just saying, maybe some people are finding, like I said, I went to school with people that got straight A's and they're happy, and they probably aren't concerned with real. They're not worried about. They just want to. They're content. They're happy. They're probably better off. You know, that's the old. I don't know if it was Buddha or something, but in Japan, people that have children that what they wish for their children is that they don't get so smart that they end up knowing so much that they are not happy. So there's kind of ignorance is bliss. Well, what's wrong with that, right? So what's wrong with everybody searching for bliss? So, you know, when you come across somebody, you go, man, that poor son of a bitch. But you know what? Maybe he's in bliss. And the people that are searching for a better EA and a better trading way are the ones in pain. Because struggling to fine-tune it, extract every pip. So who's winning that one? And I guess this is why people drink, right? Ignorance is, in other words, if you drink some liquid courage, right? Yeah, start drinking. I had my tequila buddy used to trade and make tons of money drinking tequila. I mean, he's so smashed. I don't even think he didn't even know what currency he was trading. Real money in demo. He called me up one night. He goes, "I'm up $480." I'm like, dude, get out. You got to get out of this trade. You only have to put $100 in the account. But of course, it's a double-edged sword there too. Overconfident, right? Liquid courage and then some. But I think it's the most fun I ever had trading, and the most fun I ever had bitching about something. It's just like if I owned an auto shop and I just said, "Oh my God, look at the design on this car." If I owned an auto shop, I'd probably be doing videos about the fucked up designs on cars. And then it's a conspiracy that it's designed the way it is to make it so you have to take it to the dealership. But it really isn't. It's just nobody ever thought they'd have to fix that car. They just designed it so all the pieces go together. Why would you have to swing the fucking... Some cars, to get to the oil filter, you got to take half the car apart. What the fuck was that about? You just kind of want to take the guy by the neck and go, what the fuck were you thinking? Now I gotta spend like extra money on an oil change because you designed this like shit? So I'll be bitching my whole life, I think. Complaining, criticizing. Been critical since day one. My parents are critical. And so you're a product of the apples don't fall far from the tree. But if you weren't critical and discriminating, maybe you wouldn't be making so much money. People are counting on you being critical and discriminating, especially if you're a critic, right? A movie critic. They're paying you to bitch. So, yeah, I got no problem complaining about malpractice and Forex. I don't know if that helps because people are probably looking for a signal. Some people are looking for a signal, But, yeah, there you go. Look at that Swiss franc, man, hell-bent, going to hell. Going to hell in a handbasket. I love that saying, because you can just picture a handbasket, and then the taking down the rope there, and you're like, man, that handbasket might burst into flames because it's a basket. Now, if it was a high-temp metal basket, going to hell in a handbasket there, the odds are different. So, yeah, what do they say? Okay, so look at this thing. Look at this fucking entry. Are you kidding me? See, you could have just got in here at the low. My God, man. There's an engulf for you. It went like one pip lower and then it turned around. That just goes to show you. So, yeah, you got to place a lot of orders. That's all I'm saying. Place a lot of orders. Sit back, watch the money come in, watch the pips roll in, sitting on the dock of the bay, watch the pips roll away. Oh, here's the top bottom. It just jumps out at you right there. All right, good luck, and drive recklessly.